Hi, welcome back. In this tutorial series, we will be discussing on MySQL open source database and its all types of queries like DML, DDL and every queries. So before jumping into query video, first prerequisite is MySQL server, database server has to be installed in your system. So there are two ways to do it. So go to Google and type MySQL downloads. You have a separate server software for MySQL in this official website, so you can download this if you need only MySQL alone. But in case you need to learn PHP along with MySQL so that you can develop an enterprise web application or something like that, then you need to install Apache software separately. So to remove this burden, we have few softwares available in the market that has all these Apache, MySQL and other things coupled together and released as a single package. So the name of the software is XAMPP or RAMP. So these two and other software is also available. So we prefer XAMPP. So this we have already installed in our system. So in case uh, you need to know how to install this, you can check our PHP playlist in our channel where we have given this installation video. So as of now, we have installed exam server in which Apache software is there, Apache server is there, and then MySQL server is installed. So I have started the server and it is running in the port number 3306. And the important thing is we need an user interface where we can type our queries, SQL queries, so that we can check the output. For that, Apache server can be used. We can start the Apache server, and if you click on admin, this is default user interface that is provided by Apache server for typing MySQL queries, where you can type the query here. This is bit difficult or what to say, not an user friendly user interface to learn MySQL. So we prefer another software that is just user interface tool. There are many available in market, and this is one which is more attractive than others. So in this website you can go and download this and then install. I have already downloaded this. I'll just install it. This is simply a tool that connects our MySQL server and nothing more than this inside this tool. So I have installed this tool, SQL. So I'm again telling this. This is just an user interface tool that connects to our MySQL server that is running in our system using exam control panel. So let us discuss about the credentials here. This host name is nothing but the IP address of the server where our MySQL server is installed. So in case our MySQL server is installed in a remote system, then we will be typing the IP address of the remote system here. But in our case, the MySQL server is installed in the same system where HideSQL is running. So in this case, it is localhost or 127.0.0.1, which is the IP address of the localhost for all the systems, any system. And the default credentials username is root and the default password is empty password and the port number is 3306. You can verify it here, 3306. In case if it is different in your system here, you need to type the corresponding port number here and then click on open. So our MySQL server is connected through IDSQL. So here you can type our queries and output will be displayed here. We will be writing a query to create a database. So before creating a database, what do you mean by a database? We already said that we are going to work in MySQL database server. So it is obviously a database server. So what is a database? Database is nothing but collection of tables. So in database, all the data will be stored in the form of tables. In order to create a table, we need to create a database first. So using SQL, structured query language. Structured query language. What do you mean by structured query language? For example, I'm having a table named contacts. In that, I'm having around 1,000 contacts. I mean, for example, the table will be like contact name, contact mobile number, and his email ID in his corresponding email ID. So I am having around 1,000 contacts in my table. I need the list of contacts those who belong to particular city. So I'm asking the database server to give the same list. So we cannot ask the database to give the data. uh, I mean, we cannot communicate to the database using our colloquial language or regular language that we speak but that humans understand. So there is a language designed named as structured query language in order to communicate with the database. So we will be using queries to communicate with the database, to create table, to delete table, to update table, all the database operations. Now we will write the first ever query to create a database. The syntax is create database space database name. So E3 schools is my database name. So you need to have a semicolon when you have number of queries coming next line. But when you have single query, there is not necessary to add a semicolon. So I'll add semicolon and just run the query. So this query is run here. The response is affected rows 1, which means if we refresh our connection, a new database will be added in the name of E3 schools. See, so this is how we need to create a database. So once the database is created, we can add our tables inside the database. We will see how to delete a database. In query language, the term delete is called as drop. So the query for deleting, I mean dropping a database is drop space database name E3 schools semicolon. So once the query is executed, the database is automatically removed from the list of databases. This is how we need to drop a database. We will be creating a table with an SQL query so as to insert values inside the table. So SQL query for creating a table is create table keyword and the name of the table must be typed here. So let us say we are going to create a table named contacts, open brace and close brace. Inside this brackets we have to type the column definition. So column definition of the column separated by commas. So one column definition must be the name of the column, that is serial number will be the first column, and the data type the column must hold. So serial number will hold integer data type followed by comma for typing the column definition of the next column. So second column is the first name of the user or the customer. So the name will be carrying alphabets, so it is obviously string data type. So string data type will be called as varchar in MySQL and SQL kind.
varchar of 50, which means the length of the first name must be less than or equal to 50. So any string that is greater than 50 will not be accepted. In case you need more length, you can add up to whatever number you need. Last name and mobile, and obviously mobile is integer. So this is the query to create a table with required columns. So the query is executed successfully. You can see the table contacts is added to our database. In the table tab, you can see the structure of the table, and in the data, in case if there is any data, that will be displayed here. So since we have created the table just now and no values have been added, so it is empty table with only headings displayed. So this is how we need to create a table in MySQL. How to drop a table which is more similar to how we have dropped our database. So query for dropping a table is, deleting a table is drop table keyword and table name, provided the exact database must be selected where the table is actually inside the database. For example, the contacts is in E3 schools English, but I have selected this database, and if I am executing this query, this will not work. No such table exists, error will be displayed. So the database must be selected exactly, and after selecting that, this query must be executed. Drop table and table name, and after executing, if we refresh and check, the table will be disappeared, which means the table is actually deleted. Writing an SQL query to insert values inside this table, and the syntax for inserting a value before that. So let me show you the actual values inside the table. So there is no values inside the table. As far as now, the table is empty. The query for inserting values inside the table is insert into table name space values keyword, open brace, close brace, and semicolon. And we have four values, four columns inside the table. So first column is serial number. So the value of serial number must be 1 for first value. These values are user defined values, so you can enter any value you need. So I'm just entering 1, followed by the second column is first name, so that this is a string, varchar, so it must be enclosed within single quote or double quote, followed by last name, and followed by mobile number. So you can find the difference between first and second column and third and fourth column, which means the second and third column will be values of the second and third column will be enclosed within single quote, but when the first column and last column is concerned, it is not enclosed within any single quote, because the first column and last column belongs to integer, and second and third will be varchar. So string will be obviously enclosed within single quote, and the integer need not any integer does not need any single quote for that. So this is the actual syntax for inserting a value. So let us execute the value query now. So the value is successfully inserted. We have another variation. So before seeing that variation, I'll show you why we are inserting, we are adding a semicolon here. So I'm going to execute two SQL queries at a time, where I'm expecting an error now, syntax error, which means the why this error is giving. In case if I add a semicolon here, the tool will automatically identify that This is the end of the first query, and the text coming after the semicolon will be second query. But we have missed to add a semicolon here, so that this tool is considering this both lines as a single query. And obviously, if this was the query, I mean this two combined together in a single line, this will definitely throw an SQL syntax error. So that is what happened here, and that is why semicolon is added. In case if it is single, in case if it is a single query, no need of semicolon here. This will be executed. So now we will try to execute this both queries at a time. So the value is successfully inserted. We have another one variation of inserting an SQL query, inserting values inside a table. After followed by, I mean the table name followed by open brace and close brace. Inside that the column names must be specified: serial number, first name, last name, mobile. So the order in which the column names defined here, the same order of values must be followed here. In case you have added serial number here, then value must be inserted inside serial number must be given as first. So first name is given second, so here the value of first name must be given as second. So the same order must be followed. In case I need to give insert query like this, the same order must be followed in giving column name also. So first name will be inserted first, and serial number inserted as second, and last name third, and mobile number fourth. So the value is inserted. And for information, this is the actual proper method of inserting values inside the table. But to save time, this query is also accepted. How to get the values from this table using SQL query, that is select query namely. So query for fetching data from this table is select star from table name. So if you run this query, all the rows and columns of this table will be displayed here. And for example, why I have given star here, let me explain. Let us take a single column name, select serial number from contacts. From this 4 column in this table, only serial number column is displayed here. Let us add one more column, select serial number and first name from contacts. So first 2 columns is displayed. So from this we can come to the conclusion that the column names described or defined here, or in other words, values that is present inside the column names that is displayed, I mean that is defined here, will be fetched and displayed as the output. So in case I don't need to specify, or I don't need any specific column, but I need all the values of all the columns, I'll give you star here. So select star from contact, which means display all the values of this table. That's it. There is an additional feature named distinct, which can be used along with the select statement. So that let us take for an example this column, mobile column. Let us first display the mobile column alone. Right. So the mobile column of this contacts table is displayed now, but I'm having repeated values here. First 2 values are same, and third value is different, fourth different, fifth and sixth value is same. So I'm having repeated values where I need unique values without repeating any values continuously.
So there is a function named distinct, which can be used for a single column, not for multiple columns. So distinct of mobile will print all the values from the column mobile without repeating any values. Hope you can find the difference between uh, uh, the actual values, first value 111 and second value 111, that is displayed only once here, and second, I mean third value, fourth value, that's okay, fifth and sixth value same value but displayed once. So this is the actual feature that is available with distinct function in SQL query. So this can be used with select statement for single column alone. So as of now, we have been displaying all the values of the table without checking any conditions or without any limitations or criteria. So whatever the value may be inside the table, that will be fetched and displayed. So now we will be using a special type of class named var class, for which for example, I need all the rows that contains first name as AB. I need to display all the rows that contains first name as AB. So I'm using select start from context where column name first name equal to inside single quotes, because this is varchar. In case if it is an integer, there is no need of single quotes. Single quote AB, which means fetch all the values from the table contacts that must match this condition where first name will be equal to AB. So we have only one row that matches this criteria. So when we run this query, we will get single row as an output. So now we will give ABCD. So the single row that has first name as AB, that is left out, and the rest of the values is printed here. So now we will see another example with integer as column type. Serial number, I need all the rows from the table that has the serial number 10, or yes, that has the serial number 10. So we have only one row that matches this criteria. Hope you can get this single row as an output. Now I need all the rows that is having serial number as 1. So except that single row that has serial number 10, all other rows has been printed. So this is how we need to use var class to filter or to get the exact rows that matches our criteria. The record that contains serial number as 10, all the records that matches this criteria will be displayed. So this is what we have discussed. Now let us not restrict the condition to single column. So let us expand the conditions or the filter or limitations to multiple columns, not to 2 or 3, multiple columns. So let us take an example. I need to print all the rows. I need to display all the rows that contains serial number. That contains first name as ABCD and mobile number as 555. So let us do this way. First name, since it is variable character, we are using single quotes ABCD. So as of now we have discussed for a single condition, and now we are extending it for multiple columns. So here we need to add a condition called AND. So the mobile number will be equal to so to explain it in words, I need all the rows that has the first name as ABCD and mobile number as 55555. So only two rows that matches this criteria. So in these two rows, first name is ABCD and mobile number is 5. So let us have some other combination. I need rows that has first name as ABCD or the number must be 5558. So to make this possible, we need to add R here. So either this condition must be true or this condition must be true. So all the rows that contains ABCD or 5A has been printed. So if I add 1 here, this entire rows will be printed. So the condition is like that, because I'm having 5 rows as ABCD and only one row that is not ABCD. But in that row, mobile number is 1. So almost not almost every row that matches this criteria. So all the rows printed. So we have discussed and or, and there is one more thing, not. So I need all rows that does not has the mobile number as 2, or let's take 5, where mobile not equal to, this symbol denotes not equal to, not equal to so we have 2 rows that has the value 5. So excluding these 2 rows, these 4 rows will be printed. First 4 rows will be printed, I mean displayed. So hope this is clear. So this is how we can use and or not to bring the combination of conditions, I mean combination of conditions towards combination of columns in SQL queries. Displaying records in some order, I mean in some sorted order with respect to any specific column that is mentioned. So let us take, I need these values to be displayed, these rows to be displayed in the order of ascending order in the mobile number. So we can use order by mobile. So which means get the values from the table contacts and display it in ascending order of mobile number column. So it is sorted and displayed. So let us take in reverse order. I need to be displayed in descending order, which means this row must come first and this is second, third, fourth and fifth. DESC, descending order. So you can see 9, 5. Since by default it is displaying in ascending order, so that is why we are not giving ASC, but actually ASC has to be given to display it in ascending order. So since by default it is taking ascending order, so this is not necessary. So not only mobile number, I mean not only the column that has integer value, we can sort the table, I mean the column with that has varchar also. First name. So it will display in alphabetical order. So AB is the first one, ABCD is second one. Let us check with descending order. So you can see this one comes last. Special property that can be set for a column in a table that does not allow null value by the user to be inserted. So before explaining that, let us create a table. So let us say I have 3 columns. First column, it's name of the friend, and the second column mobile, and that is integer, and third column email, and varchar that is also given 100 size of length, right? So first let us create a table. So I'm trying to insert null values. There's a small syntax error. trying to insert null values inside the table. Hope you can see this. Three values inserted, a single row inserted with all the values null. Right. In case if it is, for example, this is a table where I'm getting contacts of all my friends and I'm just sending an important information. Let us say for an example. So the data is like that. Consider. So friend one, but I don't have his mobile number and his email ID also. In this case, this row is uh, simply invalid, or we can say it is useless, because I'm just having his name and I cannot send any information with this null value of mobile number and email. So in this scenario, the main objective of this table is failed. So this is the place where we need something called not null constraint that can be set for individual columns, so that it will not allow user to enter null value. So let us see how to set not null property for a column. So imagine I'm going to set not null property for this name column. So that will be like that. That will be like column name space data type space not null. And similarly for mobile number also, I need at any case I need friend's name and his mobile number, and email ID is not mandatory. So email ID is optional. In case even if it is email ID is null, that is not a problem. So now we will create the table like this. Now let us check the table structure. The allow null checkbox is not ticked here, so that it will not allow null actually, but email ID will be allowed with value of null. Now we will try inserting value. Friend 1, now I am going to insert a value with the name of empty space, empty string. I would like to mention a point here. This is an empty string and it is not null actually. This is not null. And this is also empty string and this is not considered as null. Now I am going to remove the column email from the list. Right. So friend 3 and mobile number 3333. Now a new record will be inserted with name friend 3 and mobile number 3333, and email ID is not mentioned here, and email column is not mentioned here. So by default that column is allowing null, so null value will be inserted by default. Let us run it and check. See, this is actually the null value and this is empty string. So hope you can find the difference between empty value and null value. we will have some other variation also. I'm removing the column name from the list. Since name column is not given here, by default it will try to insert null value, but as per the table table properties, the name column will not allow null. So if it is not allowing null, then value 0 will be inserted by default. It will produce a warning, and it is varchar, so it is adding empty string. In case if it is mobile column that is left here, friend 6. So here we are leaving the mobile column from the list. So simply entering name and email ID. So mobile column is integer, so by default it will not allow null value, so 0 will be inserted automatically. So in case if it is a string, empty value will be printed, will be inserted, and in case if it is integer, the value 0 will be inserted. And at last, now we will try to insert null value. So here we go, we have some error, column and the name cannot be null. So that is what we have, that is what the entire video is all about. So here, whenever for example I am publishing this table for an real-time database where I am collecting a name and a mobile number of friends. So from now on, any friend cannot enter his data without his name and mobile number. So I will get a clean data. I will not get any record that contains only name and does not contain mobile number and email. Update query is what we are going to discuss. So we have a table named friends with name, mobile and email column. So imagine I need to write an update query to update all the records that contains email ID as empty string. So this is actually 6 records table, but imagine a real-time table with 1 lakh records where more than 65,000 approximately empty email IDs. So in that case you cannot update manually, so update query is the only solution. So let us see how to update this. The query is update keyword table name set keyword followed by column name which has to be updated. So here email is the column name that has to be updated with the value that has to be entered, abc underscore updated. So just to know the difference between already existed value and updated value, we are giving this abc under updated at gmail.com. Here we can give where class like we give in select query, where so I need to update all the places where email id is empty string, email equal to empty string. I can give any condition here. For example, the mobile number is 1111 or whatever it may be. So I am just giving email id to be updated with where the email id is empty. So now we will reload this page. This place will be updated with abc updated at gmail.com. Right. So well, we are giving where class the corresponding records that satisfies the condition that will alone be updated. So now we will remove this where class and just run this update query. What will be the actual result is entire the column of email id with the entire table, sorry, email IDs of the entire table will be updated with this value. So the update query will be applicable without any condition, applicable to all the records without any condition. So this tool has a special provisions, like when we are giving delete query or update query, it will give us warning whether need to run or not. So now we are going to refresh this page. Entire email ID column will be updated. So we can see this. Delete query. We will be using delete query for two scenarios in this video. First one, we have around 36 rows in this table. So in these 36 rows, there are few records where name is empty string. I mean, name is empty. It is not null actually, but it is empty. So in this table, I need only values that contains name. Values that does not contain its name has to be deleted. So first, let us write a delete query to remove this condition, remove the records that satisfies this condition. Syntax for delete query is delete from. One more point, delete query is not for deleting table. Delete query is for deleting values, I mean deleting records inside the table. So deleting a table will query is drop query. So we will come back to delete query. Delete from friends where name equal to empty string. So this condition is not restricted or not limited only to the first column or only to the name. This condition can be extended to any column or any condition, but as of now in this scenario we are just restricting to first column. So 18 rows is deleted now. I'm going to refresh this page. So on the 36 records, 18 records has deleted and 18 records present here. So the records that is present here does not have any empty name. So the first scenario is solved. So all the values that all the records that has name as empty string has been removed, has been deleted. And the second scenario is irrespective of the condition or irrespective of any condition, we are just deleting all the records of this table, which means indirectly it is truncating. Truncating is nothing but deleting all the records of this table and leaving the table empty. So truncate query is also there, but this is indirectly truncating. So we will remove this condition and just execute this query, delete from friends. So entire records of this table has been deleted and table remains empty. So this is how we need to use delete query. Before using delete query, check twice or thrice whether you are applying exact condition, else the deleted records cannot be recovered. So I have given a select query for this table where it has 36 rows and all those 36 records has been printed here. Now I am going to set a limitation of number of records that has to be printed after giving select query without any condition. For example, select query returns 36 rows, but I need only first 5 rows to that can be printed. So to do this, select star from table name space limit keyword space 5, which means limit the result set. I mean limit the resulting table to first 5 records. So first 5 values of this table is printed without any condition. So I'm changing this value to 10. So you'll be seeing 13. So first 13 records. So this is how we can limit the number of records that can be printed for a select query without any condition. Two special functions named minimum and maximum that can be used to find the minimum value
in a column and a maximum value in a column. So this is not restricted to integer value column alone, but if you take an example of integer value column, it is easy to understand. So first let us take total column and find what is the minimum value of all the records in this table. So minimum total value of all these records. Select minimum of total from table name. So minimum value is 6. So to find maximum value, max. So 91 is what we got. So we will now cross check the value that is obtained here by using order by query. I mean order by class. So now we have sorted this entire table in ascending order with respect to total column. So 6 is the least value and 91 is the maximum value, highest value. So that is what we got using minimum and maximum function. So this table is especially made to understand this maximum and minimum concept clear. So hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching. I have missed out something. So I have told that minimum and maximum function is not only restricted to integer value table. So let us check this condition with variable character varchar data type column. So this is alphabets actually. So when I try to get the maximum value of this column, this must be the maximum value and this must be the minimum value because based on the ASCII value of each character. So maximum value must be JJJ. So when if I run this query, the answer must be JJJ. And minimum value must be AAA. So this is what the output we got by using minimum and maximum function. Three special functions. So that will be helpful for us in handling data and few numerical calculations in numerical data type columns. So let us take this query, select star from marks that displays all the records in this table. But what I actually need is the number of records. I don't need the actual records. I need only the number of records that is present in this table. So there is a function named count of star from marks. So this will display the number of records in this table. So in case if I add var class total less than 50, so this will actually fetch the records whose total value is less than 50, and the count of the record will be converted here and displayed. So this means that only 5 students, I mean there are 5 students whose total mark is less than 50. Right. Count 10. Now I need overall total of this marks. I mean I need total of all these marks. Adding all these values, I need the total. So there is a function available for this, sum of column name which has to be added from marks. So I'm getting 490. So this is the actual total. And then taking one more step further, I need average of this total column. I mean adding all the values and dividing by the number of rows, that normal average. So there is a function for this. Column name. So 49.
So total is 49 490, count is number of rows is 10, so 490 divided by 10, 49. So this is how we can calculate number of columns, overall total of the column, and average of the columns. So these functions will be helpful in handling numerical data type supported columns. Like, so what is this like query? It's not a query, it's an extra feature that can be used along with where class to find the data, right? So let us take example of this table itself. So we are having 10 different names. For example, I need to search a student, but I don't know his exact name, but I have a clue that his name contains the word Kumar. So I need to display all the records whose name either starts or ends with Kumar. So here like query is used to do this exact thing, where name like double quotes. So the name Kumar must be present inside this name column, but either before the word Kumar or after the word Kumar, any number of characters can exist. So that is why I'm adding percentage, which means this single percentage means that any number of characters can present, and this single percentage that also means the same meaning. So display all the records where the name contains Kumar with or without additional characters. So you can see 4 names that matches this criteria. So let us change the condition now. Santosh. So we have 2 names that matches this criteria. In the first name, the Santosh word comes as first name, and the second student name, the Santosh, comes as last name. So I need only the name that starts with Santosh. So I don't want any number of characters before Santosh. So I'll remove this percentage and leave this percentage as it is. So this like query is working. And now I don't need the name that starts with Santosh. I need just a name that ends with Santosh. So I'm removing this percentage. So any number of characters first followed by Santosh. So any number of characters followed by Santosh. Another keyword that is called in. This is also can be used along with the where class. So let me tell the scenario before that. So let us consider this table. I'm having 4 register numbers, s5 comma s9 comma s2 comma s4. Let's say I just need all the data of these 4 register numbers alone. So normally how we will do, we will write where class where register equal to s5 or register equal to s9 or register equal to s2 or register equal to s4. So this is how we will usually do. So finally the objective is matched, and we got all the data of these 4 register numbers, but this is not the optimized way or efficient way to do this process. So there is something called keyword, as I said, keyword. There is something called in keyword, as I said already. Let us see how to use it. Select star from marks where register followed by in keyword followed by open and close bracket. Inside this values that are given as comma separated values, like I mean values that must be given separated by commas. Yes, let us give some other race number other than these 4. S8 comma S6 comma S1 comma
S3. Hope you can find this. S1, S3, S6 and S8. So all the four register numbers has been printed. So this is the best efficient way to do this type of queries other than using entire values with R class. So similar to in keyword and like keyword, we will be discussing another special keyword called between. So let me explain the scenario first. Let us take this table as an example. I need all the students records. I need all the data of the students whose marks is greater than 40 and less than 70. That is above 40 and below 70. So in this type of scenarios, between keyword is used. That is along with where total, select star from marks where total is between 40 and 70. So between keyword followed by minimum value, followed by and keyword and followed by maximum value. So three records that matches this criteria, the value total value is greater than 40 and less than 70. So this is how we need to use between keyword along with where class. Alias names, that is what we are going to discuss in this video. We have a table named contact here with 4 columns: id, address, phone number and email id. I don't need to display these type of column names: ph, email, address. I just need descriptive column names, which means while reading the column name, the user must understand exactly what the column is all about, what the data from this column is all about. So but the main condition is we should not rename the actual column name from the table. Let me tell you why. This is actually database part. Imagine there is an user interface front-end support either in PHP or ASP, JSP or whatever it may be. There is an front-end user interface application form that is displayed in a website where user types his data and presses sign up or something. In that page, the developer definitely must have written an insert query where he might be mentioned ph as the column name. So when we try to rename this column here, the error will strike there. So we should not collapse the system. So whenever I need to see the data, I just need to display the data, and whenever I need to change the column name while it is displaying, I do not want to change the actual column name, but just I'm giving a virtual name for that column and just displaying. So that is what alias name is doing here. So after a long explanation, we are jumping into the query. Select. So I don't need address to be displayed as address. Address to be displayed as address for communication. So for that, select address as keyword. There is a key below escape key, that is tilde symbol. So we don't need tilde symbol. The other symbol that is present in the same key. Address for communication, comma, second column ph. Ph as phone number, comma, email as email id from contact. So this is what the actual query we require. So after running this query, these three uh, uh, column names will be renamed just for displaying alone, but actual column name will be address, ph and email. See, address is renamed as address for communication, ph is renamed as phone number, and email is renamed as email id. Just it is temporary, this is not permanent. And when we go to actual table name, actual column name, it remains the same. It is untouched. So this is what alias name is all about.
we are now going to jump into an interesting chapter in MySQL. In any version of SQL or any uh, SQL servers, join queries. Join queries is what we are going to discuss for next 4 or 5 videos. So let us start with a small but efficient database. So this database I have designed to make join queries understanding better. So before we jump into join query, let me explain the database, I mean table structures first, so that while going to join query, we will understand better. Right. We have first a table named personal, where this is entirely student database for your reference. I have a table named personal, where with 4 columns: ID, unique ID will be given to each student, register number, name, and date of birth. And the second table is contact, unique ID, address, phone number, and email. Hope you can find a common column that existed in both the tables. So it is nothing but wherever I need to mention, I need to refer this student, I will use the ID, which means an unique ID, because there may be another student with the exact spelling, exact name, and exact date of birth also. So that is also possible. So we will give unique ID for each new candidate. Register number is there, but register number should not be used in some important places, so that we will give unique ID that will not be displayed anywhere. So register number will be displayed anywhere, so we'll give unique ID. This is what the unique ID is. Possibly this must be the primary key also. Right. Data of student will be separated as register number, name, and date of birth for in a single table, and address, phone number, and email in some other table. Mm, the reason behind is normalization concepts will be applied, so to make the database efficient, more efficient, and consume only less amount of time while fetching data, fetching, inserting, updating all database operations. So coming to the next table named exams. So we have separate table for uh, logging the exam details. So exam ID, exam name, standards that the exam applicable for, and in academic year. For example, if we take quarterly, we have two exams, two quarterly. So in case we didn't give exam ID, there will be definitely a confusion on which quarterly exam we are referring to, something like that. So we give unique ID for each exams with reference to academic year. And marks. Before going to marks, we will go for subject. And similarly for subjects also, we give unique ID for subject and subject name and standards that the subject is applicable to. So this is an efficient, very smallest database design to make the join queries understand better. Right, now we will go to the actual part of the video, join queries. So we have more type of join queries. First we will discuss inner join, that is join query. Join query is nothing but for example, in this table I need register number, name, and date of birth, and together along with this data I need to see the address, phone number of an email of the same student. So if I do it manually, like checking the data of first table and again checking data of second table, I feel it difficult to map the address with the student name. For example, Prem Raj, and his address is Chennai. So but and for the next student Kavin, and he is Salem. So when I go on proceeding like this, I'll definitely forget the actual data. So to find a solution, I need to display all these columns together at a time, so that I can read the data, I can analyze the data, not changing the database or table structure just to print. That's it. So join query is nothing but it will take few columns from first table and few columns from second table with respect to or with in presence of a common column. I mean, register number, name, and date of birth from first table, and address, phone number, and email from the second table, with the column that is present in both the table, that is ID. ID is the common column. I'm referring ST001 student in this table as well and this table. So this is the common column that is present in both the table. So getting few columns from table A and getting few columns from table B with the presence of common column between both the tables, these columns will be combined and displayed. That is what the join query is all about. So let us go to syntax. Select table 1 dot column 1, I mean personal dot register, personal dot name, personal dot dob, comma, second column contact dot address, comma, contact dot phone number, comma, contact dot email from table 1 personal followed by join keyword space table 2 contact. So this is the actual syntax. It is not over it. Contact on, I mean we have mentioned column A, I mean columns from table A, columns from table B. From table A join table B. Now we have to mention the common column as I said earlier. Contact on common column from table A, that is ID, personal.id, equal to common column from table B, contact.id. So all the values that matches this criteria, that means ID from personal, values from ID from personal table, which are all equal to values from ID from contact table, those rows will be taken, and from those rows the selected columns here as mentioned here, that will be combined and printed. So this is what inner join is all about. Hope you can see. Initially I was struggling to map this student with this address, so now I can easily see this student is from Chennai, this student is from Erode, and this is from Coimbatore, but the actual table or database structure has not been changed. We have just accumulated data from various table and just viewed for our convenience. So every join query is for different kinds of viewing, as like this. We will jump to the next variation of join query, left join. So to make better understanding of left join, I have added 3 rows in both the table but different data. I mean we have st12345 in both the tables, but after that 5 I have added 678 in personal table and 9 10 11 in contact table. So when we combine now without a column, I mean common column, we will get some error, like the data will not be appropriate. For example, I don't have address data for this student, and I don't have student name and register number data for this student. So this is to make left join understanding better. Now when we try to join uh, uh, these two tables using join query, we will not be getting any issues now as of now, because we have mentioned here values that are equal, and it is inner join. Only values that is present in both the table, I mean only value of the common column that is present in both the table, those values will be printed. Now let us come to left join. this consider this is left table and this is right table. So now when we try to take column register name and date of birth and address, phone number, email from both this table and combine as we done in our previous video, 5 values will not be printed, instead 8 values will be printed. So now there will be a question raised automatically for you. You will think like whether a register number, name and date of birth of this student will be combined with this address. So definitely not. This will not happen. Instead some other process will happen. Let me explain. When we try to give left join, all the data from the left table will be printed and only matched data, that is uh, only matched data, that is id that is present in both the table, those data alone will be printed and data other than those records will be displayed as null. So register number, name and date of birth will be printed for all those 8 rows, but address will be printed only for 5 rows and other 3 rows will not be available, instead it will be displayed as null. So we will check with query. Select personal dot, let us take id for sample also, personal dot id comma personal dot register comma personal dot name personal dot dob comma contact dot address comma dot phone number comma dot email from table A, that is left table, personal. Usually we will use join keyword, but here we are going to use left join, so it is left join on keyword, common column of left table, that is personal.id, equal to common column of second table, that is contact.id. We have some syntax error. Select personal.id, register. Left join, we missed out the right table name. See, as I said earlier, all the values from left table is printed and only matched values of the right table is printed, and values that missed out to match id in right table will be missed out and null values will be printed for the equivalent left table value. To make it simple, all the values of the left table and matched values of right table will be printed. Unmatched values will be filled with null. So that is what left join is all about. A right join is exactly reverse of the left join. All the data from the right table will be printed and only matched records of the left table will be printed and unmatched records will be marked as null. So when we exactly give right join for this table, null values will be present here and full values data will be present here. So let us try this. Select personal dot register comma dot name comma dob comma contact dot address comma dot phone number comma contact dot email from left table, that is personal, right join right table, that is contact, on common table from common column from the left table, that is personal.id, equal to common column from the right table, that is contact.id. Hope you can see the change. all the values from the right table is printed and only matched value from the left table is printed, and unmatched values is marked as null here. So we have only 5 records that has both that has id for both the tables. I mean, see, st5 till st1 2 3 4 5 is present in both the tables, but after 5 6 7 8 is present in this table and 9 10 11 is present in that table. So this made us easy to explain better the left join and right join concepts. Full outer join, that is full join. Full join is nothing but getting all the values from left table and right table combined together and printed in a way that values that is present in left table but that is not present in right table will be uh, filled with value in the left side and filled with null value in the right side. And similarly, values that is present in right table and that is not present in left table will be filled like values will be filled in right side and null values will be filled in left side. To be to make it simple, the combination of left join and right join, that is what full join is. But there is no keyword for full join directly in MySQL, but some other SQL servers allow them to do that. But we cannot do directly using full join keyword, but let us do it in some other way. Let me explain. First, let me write query for left join. Comma id comma contact dot address contact dot phone number contact dot email from left table left join right table on common column from the left table equal to common column from the right table. So this is left join. We have some syntax error. Personal dot name, personal dot table, contact dot id, contact dot address. Contact that is not in, that is on. Right. So we have left join here. I'm just copying and pasting the same query, just changing the keyword left to right. Now it is right join. So outer join is nothing but combination of left join and right join and combining together and printing. So there is a keyword named union. So this is used for combining result sets from two SQL queries, I mean two select queries, and printing it, I mean, and displaying it. So we have given left join query and we have given right join query and we have given union keyword in between that. So we have to run this entire query so that we will get the result set as full join. So this is what the expected output is. So till st005 we have values in both the tables, left table as well as in right table. But st006 is present in left, 678 is present in left table, but that's not present in right table. So we have filled with values in left side and filled with null values in right side. And st009, 10 and 11 is present in right table and not present in left table. So filled with values in the right side and filled with null values in left side. So this is the exact full join concept. So far we have discussed on the topics like inner join, left join, right join, and outer join. We have one more variation of join, that is self join. This is slightly different from other 4 joins. Self join is nothing but a table will be joined with itself. So that is what self join is. going to be. But the scenario, where will it be useful? To understand this concept better, I have created a table that supports this concept. Actually, we have a table named class with section name and number of students in that class. So section A contains 45 students, section B contains 39, and section C 42, and similarly we have totally 8 sections. Imagine a scenario, we need to we are going to launch a sports event where the games will be conducted between sections. So we need to devise 4 games out of these 8 classes. So 2 classes will be combined together and play a single game. I mean, on the opposite sides, A versus B and C versus D, like that. But we need not be able to launch a game between, for example, here between G and B, because G has total strength 50 and B has total strength 39. So we have a vast difference between the strength. So a slight difference between the strength can be acceptable. So for example, 40 and 39 will be acceptable. So E and F might be a single match. So like that. So in this scenario, it will be easy if we get the strength comparison between each sections, A and B, A and C, A and D, A and F, like that. So self join is the optimal solution for this scenario. Single value of this table will be combined with all the values of this table and printed. So this is applicable for every other values. So now we will write the self join query. So there is no specific keyword like self join, but we have to do it with inner join. Let us see how it can be written. Select a dot section name comma a dot strength comma b dot strength comma b dot. So we are going to combine columns of table A, columns of our table class with columns of our same table but with different alias name. That is what A and B here. From class as A, this is alias name for the table. Inner join class as B, and this is another alias name. So that is what we have used here, A and B, and that's it. Inner join is over. Self join is over. We will get single value. This value will be combined with B and printed. See, A is combined with B and printed, A is combined with C and C is printed, A is combined with D and is printed. So similarly, all the possible combinations will be there. And now it is easy for us to have a detailed analysis between 2 classes, so that which 2 classes can be computed together. Let us fix some conditions so that we will get exact values. The combination between A and A is not necessary, and the combination between B and B is not necessary. So we will try to remove these columns alone. On A dot section name not equal to B dot section name, and now A and A will not be combined and B and B will not be combined. So A value around 7 values will be combined together with other 7 sections and printed. So A class 39, 45, 42, 45, 47, 45 will be nearest value. So only 2 differences there. So A and D can be combined. Similarly, 42 and 39 can be combined. So this is where the self join plays a major role. So now it is easy for us to have comparison between 2 sections. So this is what self join. And let us have one more condition. A dot strength equal to B dot strength. So equal strength is displayed here. So possibly H section and F section will have one game, and E and B will have one game. So 4 games is already allotted now. The rest of the thing we can calculate by So now we will try to print the combinations except these four sections. A dot section not in E comma B comma H comma F. So similarly for B dot section. I mean section name. So now the result set is already narrowed down. So it is easy for us to give the schedule between other four classes. Right. E section versus B section and F section versus H section. So four classes is all over and another four has to be decided now. 42, 45, 3 difference, 47, 45, 2 difference. And so obviously D and A can be the optimal choice now. D versus A. We will give D comma A. So obviously then between G and C. That's it. So in case we feel there is more difference between them, we can again have a comparison and give a detailed thing. So the thing that I'm trying to explain is this self join will be easy, will be more efficient and more useful during scenarios like this. That is what I was trying to convey. Union keyword is nothing but it is used to combine the result set of two or more select statements and print it. So now I'm going to run a query with an error. So from that error I'm going to explain the concept. So we have two tables here named class that has two columns and personal that has four columns. So when I try to run this query, definitely it will show an error. So the error is the used select statement have different number of columns, which means union union keyword that can take two or more select statements only with equal number of columns. In case there is a difference between the number of columns between the two queries, it will not accept. So we will take these two columns alone, register comma name in the select query instead of having star. So the output will be the result set of class table will be printed followed by the result set of second select query. So this is what the actual result of union query. Till this the result set of first query, and from the next row onwards the result set of second query is combined. So this is what union keyword tries to do. So the difference between the union keyword and join query is join query combines the result set of two tables or result set of two tables horizontally, and union keyword combines the result set of two or more select statements vertically. What is group by statement and how we are going to group a data from a table and display it to the user. For example, let us take this table. This table has 5 columns and around 8 students data it is inserted. So I need to find the number of students belong to each city. I mean city wise count I need. This can be possible only using group by statement. Select count of register number belong to particular city from personal table group by city. So this will be grouped according to the city and count will be found on display. So now we have got what exactly needed. Coimbatore 4 students, Karur 2 students and Salem 2 students. So this is how we can find the count of something from a table. I need to display the names of the cities which has more than 2 students alone. The cities that carries less than less than 2 students or equal to 2 students will be ignored. So here when I try to use where class for this condition, where count of register, this is nothing but the same condition and the same aggregate function we used here. Register that is greater than 2. Definitely it will throw an error. So this is not the right syntax. So the meaning is where class cannot be used along with aggregate functions like this. Where class can be used only with values and not the aggregate functions. So where class can be removed from here, and instead of where class we can use having class. So display the city with the count that is having greater than 2, that is having number of students that is greater than 2. So we will be having only one row, that is Coimbatore, which has 4 students from. So we will change the condition now. Less than 4, we will be having 2 cities, Karur and Salem. So this is how having class can be used along with group based statement. Before jumping into the topic of exist operator, let me show you 2 tables. One is a table that contains a status of a student who has paid fees or not paid fees. So S001 has paid, S002 has not paid. So this is what the table structure. And we have another table named fee details. The students who has paid fees will be entered here along with the fee amount that has been paid by the student. So now we are going to use exist operator between these 2 tables and discuss the usage of that operator. Right. So now we have fee details table. I'm using where after followed by exist operator and braces. Inside this braces we will be having a subquery. So this is what the exist operator syntax. Main query followed by where keyword here and followed by exist operator, and inside the braces the subquery will be there. The actual thing is the query will be executed. 2 possible conditions are there. In case subquery returns one or more result set or more records, only then the exist condition will be true and the main query will be executed. Otherwise, the second case, in case the subquery returns 0 records, then the exist condition becomes false and then the main query will not be executed. It will return empty result set. Result set is nothing but the output that we get after executing the query, right? Now I have given the subquery in such a way that it will return 2 or 3 records. So exist condition will obviously become true and then the main query will be executed. So all these records will be printed here when I execute this query. Let us try this. I'll show you separately the results record set of this query also. This query returns three record sets, so obviously this becomes true, and only then this main query is executed. So select star from feed details is executed after making this exist as true, and then result set is printed. Now, in order to cross verify the condition, I'm going to make a small change in the where class inside the subquery so as to return 0 records by the subquery. So in case if the subquery returns 0 records, what is the exact condition? This exist condition becomes false. So this main query will not be executed. Instead, it will return a 0 result set, 0 records. So before executing the main query, I'll execute the subquery and check the result. So subquery returns 0 result set. So I have given subquery here, same subquery here. So exist condition obviously false now. So let us see what happened to the main query now. So obviously exist condition false, and so main query will not be executed. Instead, it will return 0 result set, 0 records. To explain this concept, I have created two tables, namely address, employee address, and employee blood donation. So employee address table will have employee ID, age, and his city. Employee blood donation table will have the list of employees and his ages who has donated blood recently, who has donated blood. Right. Now let us take this table, blood donation table. I'm just going to print only ages of the employees who has donated blood. Age. Select age from employee blood donation where donated equal to yes. So we have four values 35, 32, 40 and 39. We'll just order by age. There is a reason why I have given this query here, because this is the exact query which is going to be act as subquery in the upcoming main query. Select star from employee address where age is employee address will be taken where age is greater than any of the values that are returned from subquery, or any of the ages that is returned from the subquery. So obviously this subquery will return four values 32, 35, 39, 40. To make our understanding better, I'm just replacing the values alone. This is not correct as per syntax, but just for understanding I'm just giving here. So this is what the query will look like. So what is the work of any operator here? The subquery will be executed and the values will be replaced here. For example, this any operator, all the values of this employee address table will be selected first. All the values will be selected. Every value here we have combined, we have compared ages of the employee address with these four ages. That is what we'll take the first value here. First age 35 will be compared with these four values. Among these four values, if this 35 is greater than at least any one of this value, then the condition is true for this record, which means 35 is greater than 32, yes, true, but 35 is not greater than 35, 35 is not greater than 39, and 35 is not greater than 40. So out of these four values, 35 is greater than the first value alone. This 35 is greater than first value alone. So in case of any operator, if the main query record set is greater than any one of the subquery record set, then that record will be printed. Let's check for the second value 32. Is 32 is greater than 32? No, it is not greater than, it is equal. It is less than 35, it is less than 39, and it is less than 40. So in this case, all four values, 32 is not greater. So condition fails. So second record will not be printed. 22 obviously, 25, 23, 25, 25. Till this, all the values is not greater than at least any one of these four values. and finally comes 40. 40 is greater than 32, 35 and 39. So out of these 4 values, 3 values 40 is greater than, and 39 also 45. So obviously first record, second, third and these 4 values will be printed, which means ages of this table will be taken. Each value of this table will be compared with each value of this table. In case the value of age is greater than at least any one value of this age, then that record will be printed. So as per our discussion, 4 records will be printed here: 35, 40, 39 and 45. 35, 40, 39, 45. These values will not be printed because this values does not have at least that is, this value is not greater than at least any one of these ages value, right? Now I'm just going to change this any operator to all operator. The comparison will be same as we explained a few minutes before. All the values, I mean all ages of this table will be taken one by one. This value of age will be compared with all 4 values of the subquery. In case of all operator, this value must be greater than all values of this age. Whether it is true, it is not true, because 35 is not greater than 35, not greater than 39 and not greater than 40. It is only greater than 32, but the all operator only needs a value that is greater than all 4 values of the subqueries. So 35 is not eligible, 32 is also not eligible, 22, 25, 40 is also not eligible because 40 is equal to 40, but 40 is not greater than 40. But other 3 values 40 is greater, but here it fails the condition. 13, and finally comes 45. 45, it is the only value that has the age value that is greater than all 4 values: 32, 35, 39, 40. So 45 is greater than all 4 values. So when we run this query, we'll get only one record set that has the age value 45. So this is the exact difference between any operator and all operator. I have a table named employee address with 3 columns: ID, age and city. We have around data of 10 employees: 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 employees data. We have an exact replica of this table, but in a slightly modified name: employee address backup. ID, age and city, exactly same name of columns and same number of columns, but the table is empty. So insert into select query. What it do is, it will get the values from one table and insert into the other table. So that is what insert into select query does. So now our task is, we are going to get all the values of employee address table, and we are going to just copy and insert all these value to this employee address backup table, which is actually empty now. So I have refreshed for your reference also. Employee address is full and employee address backup is an empty table. So we are going to use insert into select query. Insert into employee address backup, select star from employee address. So it will get all the values from employee address table and then insert all those values to employee address backup table. In case we need any where class, we can add that also. As of now, we don't add any where class. We're just getting all the values of employee address and inserting into employee address backup. So again, I'm just refreshing employee address backup table. It is empty now. So when we run this query, all the values from employee address will be copied to employee address backup. Hope you can see 10 records affected. You can notice that all the values from employee address table has been copied and pasted inside employee address backup table. So this is what the actual job of insert into select statement, I mean select query. we have a table named employee address. It is actually, it consists of 3 columns, namely ID, age and city. But as per our convenience, we have given a select query that displays only ID and age alone. So we have around 10 employees. Imagine these employees are going to write an exam. The eligibility of writing that exam is the age must be less than 25. In case the age is less than 25, he is eligible. In case the age is equal to 25, he is partially eligible, and the age is greater than 25, he is not eligible. So this is what the partially eligible means. Maybe the candidate might be allowed with checking other criteria like education qualification or something like that. So we need another column, that is virtual column. This column must not be added to the actual columns of this table. We need, just while displaying this records, we need another column named eligibility statistics. In case the age of the employees is less than 25, then this column must have the value as eligible. If it is equal to 25, is partially eligible, and if it is greater than 25, is not eligible. So this is what the task we are going to do in this video. So we are going to do in SQL case. Select ID comma age, and we are going to, as I told early, we are going to add extra column case when age is less than 25, then eligible. When age equal to 25, then partially eligible. So two conditions checked. Age is less than, either age is less than 25 or age must be equal to 25, or the final case age must be greater than 25. So there is no meaning in adding when age is greater than 25. So obviously we can add just else part. Else not eligible, followed by end keyword as the name of the column. Eligibility statistics. That's all. So we can find the third column here, eligibility statistics. It has checked for the values of the age of the employee. For the values that are equal to 25, it is displayed as partially eligible. For the values that is less than 25, it is eligible. And for the values that is greater than 25, it is displayed as not eligible. So this is what SQL case is all about. In simple words, for example, in programming, we will be using if-else ladder. I mean if-else statement. There will be a if condition. If that is true, then that block will be executed. If that is false, then it will check for another if-else statement. If that is again also false, then it will check for another if-else statement. When all the if-else statements are false, then finally it will fall into the else category. So the same concept here works. First condition will be checked. If it is true, then that value will be printed, or if that condition is false, then it will check for the second condition. Even if that condition is again also false, then it will finally fall into else category. So this value will be printed. So this is what SQL case is. Imagine we have a table named employee address with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns: ID, age, city, followed by number of days that employee has worked for that particular month, and salary per day for that employee. So the salary may vary from 250, 300 to 350 based on the employee, right? So now I need to calculate the salary of that employee for that particular month and print here, but I should not add that column permanently to this table. So what I'll do is select ID comma days worked comma salary per day. So I'll just print this values alone for first as of now. Right. So employee ID, days worked, and salary per day. So I need another column, another virtual column, which should not be in table actually. It must just calculate, calculate the value by multiplying the days worked and salary per day, and just print here. So I will add another virtual column here by multiplying these two columns, days worked, comma, salary per day. So I need a title to this table. So here comes alias concept as month salary from employer. So these two values will be multiplied and displayed here. I just missed out star here. Instead of star I have given comma. So employee ID, days worked, salary per day, and these two values will be multiplied and printed here, right? So when all these values are printed here, there is no issue for calculating this monthly salary. Imagine I'm going to insert a row E45 and his age is 30 and his place is any city. Number of days worked 30, and I have missed to enter the salary here. So by default it takes null value. So now when I run this query, I will get monthly salary as null. So when this record is returned to the application software, this null value will throw an error. So in the application end, so we can fix this issue here itself instead of throwing that error there. There is a function named if null in MySQL. If null, if this salary per day column value is null, then by default add 0 as that value. Not inside the table, but just for calculation. So this is null. So while calculating this value, this will take 30 into 0 and then print here. Right. So by this null value is not disturbed here, but just calculating 30 and 0 will be printed instead of printing null here. So this is the actual usage of if null function in MySQL. The same function will be called in different names in different SQL servers. So in general, what do you mean by a function in programming languages like C? For example, consider this as a line of code. GH. So this is one line, this is second line, and this is third line. So in some scenarios like this, programmer might be in a position to execute the same line of codes multiple times, like this. So instead of keep on executing the same lines of code multiple times, the programmer will take one set of code, paste it inside curly braces, and give that as a name. Then he will call this function whenever it is needed. So this is what the function meant by in programming languages. So this is similar to subroutines in MySQL. Not only MySQL, in every other SQL service. So whenever I'm going to execute same query then and there again and again, it will be boring for me to type the entire query each time. So what I'll do is I'll create a subroutine and paste this query inside that subroutine, and just I'll call that subroutine whenever it is needed. So this is an explanation behind subroutine or stored procedure. So now we will create a stored procedure and add this select query inside the stored procedure. So you can see delimiter keyword followed by 2 forward slashes, create keyword, procedure keyword followed by tilt symbol, tilt symbol, it is not tilt symbol. The alternative symbol that is present in the key that is before number one key in the keyboard. Or you can leave without this key also. Name of the procedure. So I'll give all values. Open brace, close brace. Begin keyword. End keyword. In between begin and end keyword, the query must be inserted. Select star from employee address, semicolon. Semicolon. So this is the way to create a subroutine, stored procedure. So we'll just run this procedure. So it has run without any error. So which means the stored procedure is created. So I'll refresh this database now. You can see all values stored procedure has been created here. Now I'm just going to call this all value stored procedure. Call all values, open brace, close brace and semicolon. So the query executed is select star from employee address. So that is why I got this value as a result. The exact value which I got in this table. So this is how you have to create a stored procedure, and this is how you have to call that stored procedure or subroutine. So again I'll repeat, the same number of queries we often execute in a day, that will be that can be inserted inside a procedure and created. So it can be called whenever it is needed. So what do you mean by a comment, either in programming language or even in SQL, structured query language? So comment is nothing but it is a line that should be ignored by a compiler or an SQL server in between actual lines of code. So I'll type a query here, select star from employee address. So purposefully I have splitted this single line query to 3 lines. So this must be executed successfully first. So it is executing. Now I'm just having, I need to leave a note in between this query. So this can be considered a single line command. For single line command in MySQL, you need to use hash symbol. So for different SQL servers, there are different type of single line commands. So for MySQL, we are going to use hash. Hash is the exact single line command. So when I run this query, this must be executed same like as before without any error. So it is executed without any error. So single line command. So when I run this, it must throw an error because I have used hash as single line command, and I have continuously written second line also as command, but this is not command as per the SQL server because I have not used hash here. There is an error. So for multi-line commands, it is similarly like it is exactly like we use in programming languages. Slash star and slash star is starting and star slash is ending. And now if I run this query, this must be executed without any error. So this is how we can add single line and multi-line commands in between MySQL queries. We have a table named employee address. In that 4 columns are there: ID, age, city and days worked. I need to add another column in this table. So let us see, alter query, alter table, table name is employee address, add column name to be added, column name monthly salary. So this is the symbol that lies in the keyboard, that is before number 1 key. That key contains two symbols, one is tilde symbol and the other is this symbol. So you have to use this symbol in case you need to give space between two words in a column name, and then followed by data type. So query is executed without any error. Star from employee address. So monthly salary is added here, right? There is another variation of adding a column inside a table. I'll remove this column. I'll remove this column. There is something called keyword called first, which means this column will be added as the first column of the table. See, so monthly salary is added as first column. I'll again remove this column here. There is another variation of adding a column. I need to add or insert the column between city and days worked. So this is like after city. So there is a keyword called after column name. So in between city and days worked, monthly salary column is added, right? So this is how we need to add a column using alter query. So now we are going to remove a column using same alter query. Alter table name followed by drop column name. The same will remove monthly salary. So query is executed. So you can notice that monthly salary column has been removed. So on the last task left with this, we have to change the data type of a column. So let us take this column, id column, and we will change the data type of this column from varchar to integer. Alter table name, modify. So this modify keyword is different for different SQL servers. For MySQL, this is modify. Column name is id, and I need to change from varchar to integer. So I have given integer alone. So it will show, it might show some warning because we have already variable like E001 002. So it will remove this value and add 0 by default. So it will show us before replacing that. So I have given here. Okay. Now we will again use select query. So you can see we'll refresh the database and check what is the exact data type that is used for id. So it has been changed from varchar to integer. So to demonstrate the usage of unique constraint, we are going to create a table named contact underscore new with two columns. First one is name with varchar data type, and second one is mobile and with integer data type. So I'm going to add a unique constraint for mobile column. Unique constraint. So I'll run this query. Table is created now. Right. So this is the table. So it is the red color key is denoting that it is unique. This column is unique. So I'm just entering one record. So name and mobile number 12345. I'm trying to insert another record with same mobile number. So it will display an error because duplicate entry 12345, because this column is denoted as unique column, unique constraint. So multiple values will not be entertained, which means repeated values will not be allowed. Okay, now a question arises. What is the difference between unique key and primary key? I mean unique constraint and primary key, because primary key does the same thing as well. So there is a difference between primary key and unique constraint, because primary key is I mean there will be only one primary key allowed for a table. So a primary key is used to uniquely identify every record in a table, but unique constraint can be, I mean number of unique constraint can be added for a single table. For example, a student table, register number, name, followed by address, pin code, Aadhaar number, and mobile number. Per register number can be primary key, but multiple primary keys cannot be allowed. And so, mobile number and Aadhaar number can be used as unique constraint, so that multiple student cannot be adding same Aadhaar number. So this is what the exact scenario of unique constraint for a column. So we are going to create a table named contact underscore new with 3 columns: register, name, and mobile number. I'll drop this table and I'll create it again. So I have created this table. Now I will try to insert a value. So student of register number 1111 and his name followed by his mobile number. Right. So now accidentally or by mistake we have given same register number for the second student also. Right. So now the management is asking a data. What is the fees paid status of the student of register number 1111? So there is a conflict here. This student has paid the fee and this student has not paid the fee. So when I was put into a situation to get a data of register number 1111, I'm having two records. I mean I'm having two students. So which student I will check? So this is the place where primary key is in need of. In case if we set this column as primary key, this table, I mean this SQL server wouldn't allow us to add another record with the same register number. So I'll drop this table and I'll show you how to add a primary key to a table. Primary key to a table. So same create table query, column name, data type followed by primary key keyword. Simple. Now the table is created. Right. Now I'll insert a row now. 1111. Right. Now I will try adding, I mean the same mistake now I am repeating. I will try to add same register number for another student. Let us see whether our SQL server is allowing us to add the same register number or not. So it is not allowing us because this column is set as primary key, so it is not allowing us to add another record with the same primary key, I mean same register number. So this is the exact usage of primary key. So To demonstrate the actual concept of foreign key, first we must know what is primary key. So what is primary key? It is a column. Primary key is nothing but a column that is used to uniquely identify each record in a table, which means, for example, let's take this table. In this table, register number, register is the primary key, which means in this table there must not be two records with same register number. A student must have single register number, and same register number will not be allocated for multiple students. Or in other words, if I give a register number, it should return either 0 record or 1 record and not more than that. So that is what primary key is. So to demonstrate the concept of foreign key, we are going to create two tables now. Create table student register 50. Obviously register number will be primary key, followed by his name, 50. So this is the first table. This table will have only two columns, register number and his name we have created. So we have this table here. I will insert 3 records here, 1111 and name. So imagine I am having a school and with only one standard, and that standard contains only 5 students, not more than that. Only 5 students in my school. Okay. I need to create another table. Annual marks, which means the year-end examination marks. Register. Obviously, this register column will again act as primary key in this table also. Addition to act as primary key, this register column must act as foreign key to this table also. So first we will create this table first. Student and annual marks. Right, now I'm going to enter marks of all those 5 students, 1111, 450, 2222, 348, 3333, 459, 499, right. By mistake or unfortunately I tried to add another value, 450. Whether this data is valid or not, please check it. I have only 5 students in my school, but in my annual marks table I have 6 marks, which is 1 2 3 4 5. Till this record the values are valid and this value is not valid. So this is a blunder mistake. So this is the exact scenario where foreign key plays a major role. Absence of foreign key allowed me to enter this value here. So I'll remove this, instead of removing this, I'll remove this entire table now, and I will add foreign key for this table. So student table is created. I have only 5 students. I'll create this table with foreign key, comma, foreign key of register references student of register, which means The register column of this table will act as foreign key referring the register column of this student table. So this register and this register will be connecting together. So this register will be the column that is used to uniquely identify each record in this table also. So this is what foreign key is all about. I'll create this table. Table is created. While seeing the table structure, you can identify that this yellow key denotes that it is primary key, and we'll check the newly created table, annual marks table. You can see this is primary key, and again you can see an icon that denotes two tables and connecting together. See, this is what foreign key is. I mean, we have connected this column to this register column in this table. So what is the actual advantage, or what is the actual usage of this foreign key? Now I will insert annual marks. See, when I try to click, try to type something, it is showing me drop down list box, which means I must add any one of the values that is present in this drop down list box. So what are these values? Where are these values from? These values are from this register column, because we have added this register, and we have added this register column as foreign key to this register column. So if I try to insert any other values other than the values present in this column, it will not allow, because we have set foreign key. So from now on, the blunder mistake that has happened before, as is shown here, the register number other than 5 students will not be entered, will not be able to enter. Okay, let us try another way of inserting same value. Insert into annual marks. Now I will try to insert a value that is not available in student table, comma 456. It must throw an error. See, you have you cannot add or update or child row. A foreign key constraint fails, which means it is telling us that you are going to enter a value 6666 that is not present in student table register column, because this register column and this register column are interconnected by using foreign key, which means this register key is acting as foreign key to this table. So hope and now I am having a school, and I am having only 5 students in that school, and now I cannot add marks of a student who is not present in my school. So this is where foreign key played a major role and stopped me from entering a wrong value. So we are going to create a table named customer with two columns, namely name is the first column and mobile is the second column, and age is the third column. You can see the third line, it is an insert query for the same table. I'm just inserting only two values, which is name and mobile, leaving age value blank. So in these type of scenarios, when column values are not given, default values will be inserted. So this will be inserted only if the default value is mentioned while creating the table. Default value. So in case in case value for this age column is not given, then by default it will insert 20. So column name followed by data type followed by default keyword and followed by default value. So I've created the table now. Now customer table, so it is empty table now. I'll run this insert query. with only the values for name and mobile column. So age column does not given any value here. So you can see by default 20 is inserted here. Now you can see this. I'll try to insert a new row. It will automatically add 20 here. See, so this is what default constraint is. You can also check here, table schema, column age, default value is 20. So this is how we can set a default value for any column in MySQL. Let us take this table named personal. It has 1 2 3 4 5 columns: ID, register, name, date of birth, and city. So this table actually contains 8 records, but imagine a table that contains more than 1 lakh record, for example. So in such kind of larger tables, select query may take more than few seconds for fetching the data. So in similar cases where a table that has usage of select queries often, and insert queries and update queries are used very rarely, we can create something called indexes with few columns. So indexes are nothing but a table, and a small copy or a copy of this table will be stored in separate places called index. For example, I am going to create index on index name of the index sample on table name personal, and column names to be added for index. Register and name can be added. Come on, name. So I'm going to create index here. So query has run without any error. So you can notice that there is nothing like key or something here. When I refresh, it will show something. See, indexes. In indexes tab, sample index is created here with register and name. So what is the actual meaning of this index is, we are having data here and we are having another duplicate data of all these records with register and name as reference in some other places which user cannot see. So whenever we give select statement, it will fetch as soon as possible, but whenever we give insert or update statement, it must insert or update in two places. One is actual table and the other one is the indexed place. So that is why insert and update takes much time, and select takes very smallest time to fetch when a table has indexes in it. So to demonstrate the auto increment concept, we are going to create a table. So I'm here ready with two queries, that is, one is create table query and another one is insert table query. So create table query, we are going to create a table named customer with column serial number, name, and mobile number. So after creating this table, I'm not going to enter any serial number. The serial number must be automatically entered, and additionally I will just enter name and mobile number alone. So to set auto increment property to the serial number column, so obviously this is going to be primary key. Column name followed by data type followed by primary key constraint followed by auto underscore increment. So this is case sensitive and spelling has to be correctly typed. Simple. So I have created the table now. As of now, so the customer table is empty. Now I have insert query with two columns, name and mobile number, and I don't give any value for serial number column. Since it is auto increment, it will be inserted automatically. So it is inserted. See, the value 1 is inserted automatically, but I have given only name and mobile number. I am giving another value, second value inserted. Now I am going to show you some twist. I have deleted the second value. Now if I try to insert another value, the serial number either it must be 2 or 3. So this is the trick here. So when we run this query, the value record will be inserted, but serial number has to be 2, but it will not be 2 actually. See, so as per SQL server, this table has some temporary value that is called as auto increment value. So that value will be incremented every then and there whenever insert query is executed. So we have executed insert query for the third time for this value. So obviously value 3 will be inserted. So this is what auto increment property can be set for a column in a table. So I'm going to create a table named customer with 3 columns. One is name, another one is mobile number, and I'm going to add another column named purchased date. So this column is going to be a date data type. I'm going to create this table. Table is created. Customer. So you can see the purchased date is of data type date and the empty value. So I'm going to insert a value. The format for inserting date is year followed by hyphen followed by month followed by hyphen followed by date. So you can see, so this is actually not varchar variable character. This is date data type. So there is an important benefit of having a column as date. Few videos before we have a video named between query. In that we tried printing age between some values. So similar concept will work out here also. For example, we are having a table named student and we are entering data of student year wise. 2016 around 200 students have been entered, 2017 around 250 students have been entered, 2018 around 300 students have been entered. So I need a list of student names who has been entered between October 2017 and June 2018. So in these scenarios we can use between query for columns that have been given date as data type. So this is the major advantage of having date data type. So in case if it was given as variable character varchar data type, between query will not work. You cannot fetch the exact student list that has been entered between the two different dates. So we have a table named personal. We have a table named personal with 5 columns: ID, register, name, date of birth, and city. And imagine I will execute this same query, select register comma date of birth from personal, this same query more than 200 times a day. So each and every time, instead of typing this same query, I'm going to create a view for this table. Create view as the select query composed of the selected columns will be pasted here. So when I execute this query, a new view named as SEEDOB will be created. See, you can notice something called SEE underscore DOB, which is the name of the view I have created here, and it carries an icon of I, which means it is a view. You have to note something here. This is the actual table. It occupies 16 KB of data, and it is the view. It does not occupy any memory, which means it indirectly reveals that it does not store any data. Instead of that, it is just mapping 2 columns to this table. So when we click here, it will actually forward us to this table, not to the entire table but to the selected columns here. So after creating this select star from view name, so when we try executing this query,
this view will be called, and this view will be directly mapping us to the register number and DOB column of this table. So by using select query, this view can be called, or in other method using IDSQL, you can see the data tab will fetch you the same data. So to explain what is view, use nothing but a virtual table of selected columns. Simple. And it does not stores any value. Instead of that, it just maps us or points us to the actual data in a table. So it is a virtual or imaginary table. Simple. We have tried our level best to explain each and every concepts in much simpler way. So we definitely believe that this tutorial series will be more informative to you.